All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Chris Crenshaw. We are live from the 336 my goodness, it's been some time for episode 230 of the A15 Exchange. And well, all right, first off, Merry Christmas. All right, Merry Christmas. First episode post-Christmas. It's also the last episode of 2024, so it is December 30th. I'm recording this on a Monday, not a Sunday. That's how you know we're really back. Obviously, I'm back home in the 336 in Greensboro. So, yeah, Happy New Year as well. Happy holidays, happy whatever you're celebrating. But yes, all right, we've got the Shure mic, we've got the Amaran lights. We are back, okay? We are back in full effect today. But we do have plenty to talk about, all right? The holidays are not just a time for joy and cheer and family. It's also a time for plenty of sports, all right, and plenty of things for us to talk about, all right? We've got college football playoffs starting tomorrow, or at least the next round, should I say, the quarterfinals. So we've got the Rose Bowl, the Peach, the Fiesta, the Sugar Bowl. We've got ECU and NC State brawling, all right? We got that to talk about this week. And, of course, the top two quarterbacks also played on Saturday. Two varying results. All right, we got a few things to talk about in entertainment, a few music drops. I might even talk about JJK2 since I finished it last night. We also have Christmas Day in the NBA, respectfully to the NFL. They run that day, get up off of it. Even though it was beautiful to see Kay Adams on my television screen via Netflix, but still, get up off that Christmas Day. But we did have plenty to talk about, some clinching happening, some fall-offs happening. We got some things to talk about in the NFL, all right? So we got a loaded deck today. As always, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. And as always, all right, everything you're looking for in this life can, in fact, be found in my description, all right? Timestamps, description, okay? Social medias in my description, also in the outro, okay? Everything you're looking for can be found in the description. But without further ado, all right, live from the 336, let's get straight to it, all right? College football, CFB, and I said it, okay? We had the top two quarterbacks actually opting to play, even though this first one I'm going to talk about probably should have just opted out after what happened. Probably should have just not played at all. But we have the top two quarterbacks in the draft, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, both play on Saturday. There was a lot of hype about this. You know, we've had many of player, opt-outs. We have players in these games opt out. But for the most part, these four teams all kept it together. And, it was probably the most exciting day of college football we have that is not playoff related. Surely. And boy, oh boy, it was a great game for people that hate Colorado. It was a great game for people that are just neutral viewers, all right? Because first off, I have to say, Pop-Tarts, whoever's running marketing, whoever's doing the ads for Pop-Tart, whoever's designing the whole mythos currently going around the Pop-Tarts ball, you are knocking it out of the park. So I want to give an A15 round of applause to whoever is the marketing director of the Pop-Tarts Bowl, because, that's how you do it, all right? That's how you keep your bowl relevant. That's how you keep people interested, by just going completely fantastical with the choosing of the Pop-Tart, the large edible Pop-Tart at the end, the Pop-Tart going to its death, the whole, it's just mad, all right? It's insane, but it works, all right? That is how you promote a bowl game. But with that said, all right, the two teams going in was Iowa State of Matt Campbell and, of course, Mario Cristobal's Miami team. And, well, it was a great game. All right, it was a great game. Came down to the last minute. And Iowa State squeaks out a win here in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, 42-41. But that was not the big story. See, Miami was leading 31-28 at halftime. And Cam Ward played the first half. He played in this game. He got the all-time Division I passing touchdowns record in the first quarter. And then, went 12 for 19, 193 touchdowns, was dealing. Having a fantastic game that showed why Cam Ward was one of the best quarterbacks. If not, some people would say the best quarterback in the country this year. Showed it all. But then, with his team up 3 points in a game against a very good Iowa State team, suddenly, when the second half came out, Cam Ward was without a helmet and sat for the entire third quarter. And then when his team needed him, as Iowa State had come back, as Rocco Becht had run it in with 58 seconds to go to give Iowa State the 42-41 lead, would Cam Ward, senior leader, franchise over there in Coral Gables, would he show up? No, he would sit and watch his backup completely crap his pants, and Miami taken out on a massive stage. I don't understand what happened here. I really need some explaining. I really, really, really need some explaining and some clarification on what happened here. Because no matter how we twist this, no matter how we look at this, I like Cam Ward. I think he's a good, not an elite quarterback prospect, but I think he's a good quarterback prospect. Maybe even, honestly, after Saturday, QB1. But I need some understanding about what happened in this game. Because it's not really making sense to me. Because one, you quit. You quit. Cam Ward quit on his team. That's option one. He got his record, he played his half, and then he quit. Number two, his agent made the call, right? Which if Cam Ward's agent told him and told the Miami program that yes, it would be a great idea. It is the happy medium for Cam to play one half of football. And again, not like a random bowl game, a pretty competitive bowl game between two teams that had championship aspirations at one point in this game. And for the most part, everybody decided to play. Actual comp, you decided to play one half and thought it would be a good look. It would be a good look for your client to sit and watch his team blow the game. If that's the case, then the agent needs to be fired. Option three, very similar. If Miami made that decision, then what are you doing? That is one of, I guess, many at this point for Cristobal, boneheaded decisions that make you wonder why you just don't have it. Because why would you sit him? Because if you're worried about injury, if you're worried about, getting hurt, if that's why he didn't play the second half, which is what I would have to presume, is you wanted to preserve him and make sure, all of the money he has on the line being a top 5 pick in this coming year's draft, then why did he play in the first half? Can someone answer me that? If you were worried about him getting hurt so badly that he couldn't finish the game, why did he play in the first place? Xavier Restrepo, all-time great receiver in Miami lore, future draft pick in this spring, he sat out the game. I can respect that more than playing one half, getting your record, and then sitting and watching your team lose. So again, I would just love some clarification from Miami or from Cam Ward. I just hope we do, because it's not a good look. No matter how we spin it, it's not a good look. It was either he quit or somebody's an ass on his team. And I would love to know so we can know who to deflect the blame and not, make an attack on a man's character if it's unjust. But anyways, Iowa State handled business. Though I will say Damian Martinez did go for 179 and a touchdown. But however, Rocco Beck deservedly won MVP for this game. 293 and 4 touchdowns. Jalen Noel was a menace and really could have had a better game. Had a couple drops here. 8 receptions, 117 and a touchdown. He had a great season all game. Like I said, Rocco went with the go-ahead, ran it in with 56 seconds to go. Put it to bed. And then, of course, we got another legendary celebration via the Pop-Tarts Bowl. But yeah, Iowa State came to play the full game. The full, 60 minutes they came to play. Again, I don't know what happened with Cam Ward, but it's not a good look. And it's an indictment on him currently until somebody clears it up. The other quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. It was the end of an era at Colorado. It was the end of an era really in college football. All right, Coach Prime and his sons, Shiloh, has no more eligibility. They've expended it all. Shedeur, of course, is going to the league, and so is Travis. All right, so Coach Prime and his sons, the era was over. All right, it's about to be a new era in Colorado. Not that he's leaving, obviously. He just got Juju. And he's got a great, honestly, transfer and recruiting class per usual kind of coming in. And Colorado probably is not going anywhere, to be honest with you. But, for now, this era was ending, all right? And it was very memorable. I know a lot of people hated it. I know a lot of people loved it. But you know what? It was fun, okay? And anything that brings fun into sports, I'm here for. And the Coach Prime era with Trav and Shedeur was fun. But it was not going to go to storybook ending on Saturday because there is no other way to put it. And they're not going to be the only team. Don't you worry, because there's plenty of NFL teams that got that belt tax treatment as well. But in this game, they got smoked. BYU beat the brakes off these boys. 36-17 looks generous. They beat the brakes. For all intents and purposes, They beat the brakes off of the Colorado Buffaloes on Saturday nights. All right, Shedeur had a disaster class. If I didn't know better, him and Cam were intentionally trying to throw their draft stock. If I didn't know any better, and maybe they were, maybe that's the explanation why Cam Ward quit on his team and why Shedeur played awful, is they were, somebody doesn't want to go to, I don't know, New York, even though they still could get drafted, honestly, with the way the NFL fell out this week. But anyways, maybe they were trying to draft the, tank the stock. I don't know. But Shedeur played a horrible game. One of the worst games he played all year. Again, the offensive line that's looked better down the stretch here seemingly regressed, which, of course, credit to Kalani Sukhay and the rest of that BYU defense because they were great. All right, they were great in this game. They were giving Shedeur all types of issues. Trav had that one play, which was marvelous. However, he didn't even really play a great game. All right, because I'm going to be honest. That run that you keep seeing that put the game away, he should have made the tackle. All right, he should have made the tackle. That should have been a touchdown. But I digress. Trav did finish with 4 receptions, 106 and a touchdown, but definitely far from his best performance. LJ Martin led the way offensively for the Cougars, 93 yards and 2 touchdowns. They sacked Shedeur 4 times, but it felt like a whole lot more. But yeah, we saw all of the bad from Shedeur. All right, the 23-yard sacks. It was bad. It was a disaster class. It was everything, every negative thing that people have to say about Shedeur as a prospect, bar probably his attitude, showed itself in that game on Saturday. All of it. People, questions about his arm, questions about, can he show up in the big muck? All of it showed up on Saturday and reared its very, very ugly head. So yeah, nonetheless, I don't think this means that Trav should win the Heisman. I know a lot of people are talking about that, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow, how true maybe that was, depending on how GT plays. But, we'll see. All right, we'll see. But yeah, Shedeur, Cam, disaster classes this week. Not pretty. Of course, tomorrow and Wednesday, New Year's Day, we do have those New Year's 6 games going on, and of course the playoff games. I will do quick predictions. All right, I'll do some quick predictions. I think Penn State beats Boise. I think they're just a more complete team. I do think GT either by force or by, something, or maybe he just goes off. I do think he gets Barry's record, maybe barely ekes it by, but I do think Penn State is just a better team. All right, simply put, I think they're a better team. I think they win the Fiesta, Peach Bowl. We've got Texas going on against Arizona State. Again, a lot of questions about Quinn Ewers' future circling around. However, Texas, for all intents and purposes, has looked like the best team in the nation, except for when they play Georgia. So I'm still taking the Longhorns. I think they beat Arizona State. However, maybe the magic of Dilly and Sam Levitt and Cam Scatterbo can make it happen. But Texas's defense, I think they've got the tools to contain that ASU offense, and they should be good enough to get it done offensively. So yeah, I got Texas in the Peach. I think Oregon, even though this is a rematch of a very good game earlier this year, and of course Ohio State is playing with the ultimate chip on their shoulder currently, I do think Oregon wins this game, but this is of any game, I think this is the one that could flip either way. It's between, honestly, this game and the game I'm about to talk about, but I do think Oregon wins. I don't know if I have Oregon winning the Natty, but Ohio State does have some very, very fatal flaws, and I think Oregon has the tools like they did in Game 1 to take advantage. However, with all of the time off for Oregon, it'll be very interesting to see if they've lost any of the momentum they had in the regular season. Georgia takes on Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. Should be a very good game. All right, very good game. Gunnar Stockton is playing. Of course, Carson Beck is out for the season. And yeah, it's going to be the ultimate test. Stockton looked decent. All right, he looked decent in the SEC Championship, was able to do enough to get it done, knock off Texas. But Notre Dame, of course, has been playing like a team unchained. All right, they have been on a rampage through everybody since that Northern Illinois loss. They have not looked up. And I really think the way that Riley Leonard plays in this game is going to be vital in determining whether Notre Dame can pull off the upset. However, Georgia, the playoff is their element. All right, simply put, the playoff is their element. They are used to this. And as good as Notre Dame's been playing, it'd be hard-pressed to bet against Georgia. So I got Kirby and them boys and them dogs getting it done. But we will see. All right, we will see. All right, we will see. And it'll be a lot of fun. All right, it's going to be a very fun New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day, even though I will be traveling on New Year's Day, so I may miss some of it. But, It is what it is. All right, it is what it is. And lastly, to end off the segment, I did see and I will comment. ECU and NC State fighting was absolutely hilarious. All right, absolutely hilarious. And also ACC. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think they're 1-9 or whatever, something crazy in the bowl season. That's horrific. Absolutely horrific. Okay? For all of the flack and protection I do, obviously as an East Coast North Carolina baby of the ACC, it has not been a good bowl season, and it has continued to not be a good bowl season. And honestly, losing to NC State, losing to ECU, who, by the way, my alma mater, who didn't make a bowl game, Charlotte, 30-pieced, is not a good look. All right? It's not a good look, but you know what? That was the week in college football. Shoddy quarterbacks, frauds, all of it. It's a movie. It's a movie. Unironically, it's a movie right now. And it's only going to get better. Now, let's go to entertainment really quick. You know what? Let's go to entertainment really quick before this timer expires and I have to cut the segment. All right, ENT. First off, Jujutsu Kaisen 2. I'm not even going to pop up a picture. I'm just going to yap. What a series. What a series. All right, what a series. Shout out to Jaden. All right, shout out to Jaden, the Saint that was on my shoulder and said, watch it. And I caved and I bought Crunchyroll and it lived up to the hype. It was worth it. It was worth it. All right, I'm not going to spoil too much. Gojo is who they say he is. Actually, everybody who is hyped on that show is exactly who the people say they are. All right, so go watch Jujutsu Kaisen. The first season's but season 2 is peak. And the movie's pretty good too. So, do that. All right, do that. Music, though. We did have some music drops this week, all right? Jack Harlow dropped a freestyle on his IG, Tranquility. It was very good. I'm tired of y'all acting like Jack Harlow is not a good rapper. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of it. And this whole thing I've also said, and I'm going to comment on this, about Jack is trying to paint him as like a culture, like Jack has changed. Like he went back to being white, quote unquote, after his, come up. Jack Harlow is quite literally the same exact person as he was when he came up. I don't know if y'all are just being willfully ignorant to push a narrative or what it is, but he's the same guy. He's grown up and honestly matured and mellowed out, which he explains honestly in the song. But it's the same Harlow. All right, same Harlow, and he's still getting better. All right, stop acting like Harlow's not a guy. All right, he's one of them guys. All right, he's got a nice bright future. All right. Get rid of the slander. All right, the boy can rap. Get over it. Benito. All right, one of the biggest artists in the world. Bad Bunny continues the singles run. More good stuff. All right, he's, again, as I think I said last time, Midas touch. All right, PIToRRO De COCO, fire. All right, slaps in the club. Again, Benito, quite physically, potentially cannot make bad music. I don't know if he can make bad music. It just might not be possible. So, yeah, more good stuff from Benito. And Yugyeom. Also dropped Sweet Like. Very solid. Not my craziest, not my favorite track from Yugi, but some good stuff. All right, some good stuff down the line. Also, GOT7 is reuniting, so we will be on the lookout for that. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's... and was it Nofastera? Whatever the movie is with Lily Rose Depp. Y'all hyping it like crazy, all right? I may need to go see that. Might need to go see that. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Might need to go see that. I'm not a huge horror fan, but y'all are hyping that thing like it's the next big thing. So we might go check that out. I haven't seen it, but y'all hyping it to no ends. Same thing with Baby Girl and Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson. But that was ENT. Like I said in the intro, ladies and gentlemen, Christmas time is not just when Saint Nick comes to town and drops presents and steals your cookies. Kids, close your ears really quick. Spoiler alert, it's your parents. Okay, spoiler alert, it's your parents. It's not just a time for that. It's not just a time for, giant Christmas trees and presents and ornaments and families and good food. It's also the time for the NBA to take precedent, even though, like I said, the NFL tried to stomp on it and eventually got stomped out, which we will talk about in the NFL segment. But the NBA Christmas Day slate was, a lot of people had thoughts about positioning on where games were put and who was included. And well, all of y'all doubters got silenced because it was an incredible day for the NBA. Sometimes you got one or two games that might not hit, even on great Christmas days. Even as we always talk about the year 2016, even on that day, there were some duds besides that fantastic Cavs-Warriors game. We got 5 really good games on Christmas Day. It was everything an NBA fan could want for Christmas. It was 5 great games. So again, Adam Silver getting a lot of flack lately about, how he might be promoting certain players and all that stuff and how we don't have an American face post Bron KD Curry. But for now, he did what he was supposed to do on this one. All right, so let's go down the line here. The New York Knicks. Shout out to my father. He's upstairs currently. But the New York Knicks, all right, dueled with Wemby, who is about to play on Christmas for the next 20 years, especially after this performance. The Knicks go band for band with the Spurs and come out on top in MSG, 117 to 114. Mikal Bridges is back, all right? They broke my boy's jump shot, but he came over. He has fixed it. He has seen the light. All right, Mikal Bridges apparently is back. Of course, Dibs is playing these dudes like 40 minutes a game still, so we will see if it lasts. But for it seems like, over the past month, over the month of December to close this year, Mikal is back. He was massive. All right, unstoppable. He took over this game in the fourth quarter late to make sure that the Knicks got this thing done. He had 41. He dueled with the man himself, the future best player in the world, the future face of the league, let's be real. Wemby had 42 and 18 and also 4 blocks. He had, I think, a triple-double with blocks, I think, the game before. He went on a rampage this week. He may have been player of the week. I didn't see who won it, but it probably was Wemby because that's how good of a week he had. All right, Wemby was unbelievable, showed the whole bag, looked every bit like the generational prospect that he is. And then the next day, all right, he made Knicks fans fall in love because he went to go play chess in Washington Square. How can you not like him? All right, how can you not like him? I know we're talking about who's next. Wemby is very much so next. Again, I do also believe we need an American face of the league, but, I trust the league in Victor Wembanyama's hands in games like he played against the Knicks on Christmas Day. And, what he did the day after is reason why I fully believe he can carry the mantle as the top superstar. But the Knicks do get that W. Minnesota and Dallas. All right, I'm not going to highlight all of these games, but I will talk about most of them, like I said. All right, but I might not throw a photo for all of these things because, let's be real, not all of them are worthy, even though they were great games. All right, Minnesota was putting it on Dallas. All right, Luka got hurt very early in this game. He's going to be gone for a little bit. But Dallas did come back, made it interesting at the end. However, the Wolves held on, got it done, 105 to 99, and had 26. Julius Randle. 23, 10, and 8. It's a very good game for Randall. KI did have 39. All right, Kyrie ended up finishing with 39. Had a great game. Mavs offense was actually moving a little bit better than it was when they had Luka out there. Again, Luka, I feel like Luka's been beat up for a while and has been playing as good as he has in spite of his injuries. I really think even though it's going to hurt the Mavericks right now and maybe even their playoff contention, not having him, of course, but I really do think they need to let him just get healthy. All right? For the long-term prospectus of him as the face of their franchise, and even for this season, I think Luka's been beat up for a while. I think they just need to let him get healthy however long that takes. I think that's infinitely more important than the fact of, even though they made the Western Conference Finals last year, I don't think they're winning the championship this year. Not that they couldn't, but, Luka is the guy. You need to make sure that his health is paramount. So, yeah, I think you just got to sit him until he's healthy and back fully. Not at 80%, not at 90%, but at 100%. So, yeah. Wolves, however, get it done on Christmas Day versus the Mavs. And a shocker, all right, the Philadelphia 76ers, who honestly I was questioning why they were even playing on Christmas. All right, I thought maybe they should flex this game. However, they do upset the defending champions 118 to 114, and they knock off the Celtics. Maxey had a big game, even though he did everything in his power to throw this game. Once again, Sixers up big on the Celtics, and then they completely fell apart in the third quarter. Celtics came all the way back and then nearly won this game. But the 76ers were able to hold on. Maxey had 33 and 12, but again, did everything he could in that third quarter to lose this game. Joel Embiid, despite trying to injure himself in the... I'm joking, by the way. Again, horrible luck. Stepping on the worker in pregame and almost getting hurt there. But anyways, Embiid looks like, Embiid again. 27 points in this game. However, Caleb Martin stole the show. All right, 7 threes for Caleb Martin in this game. He was massive. All right, they were back-breaking. If anything won this game for Philly, it wasn't Maxey, it wasn't Embiid playing, it was Caleb Martin raining threes on the Celtics dome. All right, just raining, making it rain. Whenever they needed a big shot, he was able to come through. So shout out to Caleb Martin. JT did have 32 and 15, and D White and JB did what they do. But the Sixers, like I said, with Caleb Martin making it rain, are able to pull off the upset. Now, all right, what ended up being the best game of the day, because of course, and again, I don't know how many more of these classics we're going to get. By the way, happy birthday, LeBron James. He turns 40 today. But yeah, it was another episode of the King versus Curry, the Lakers taking on the Warriors, and it came down to the wire. It came down to the last seconds. But Austin Reeves, with half a second left, it's basically a game winner. Gets the layup, drives on Andrew Wiggins, who I don't know what Wiggins was doing, even though he had a very solid game. But yeah, blew it on that play. And Austin Reeves completes his dream Christmas with the game winner against the Warriors, and the Lakers do, without Anthony Davis, who left early in this game with an injury, able to get it done, 115 to 113. AR also had a triple-double in this game, 26, 10, and 10. Beautiful stuff from Reeves. Brown had 31 and 10. He was, again, LeBron James is LeBron James. He's my opinion, the second greatest player. You can argue the greatest player of all time. My favorite all-time player. He is going to be elite to the day he hangs them up. It's just how it is. All right? It is just how it is. Okay? And it was his birthday season. You knew the boy was going to come through. And, of course, he's playing Curry, his favorite opponent, his greatest rival. So, of course, he was going to show up. Now, on these Christmas Day games, Steph doesn't usually show up. It seems like he always wants to be with his family rather than hooping. However, he came to play in this game. All right, 38 points from Chef Curry in this game. His best ever. And probably one of his best performances of the season. But certainly his best performance in a Christmas Day game. So gotta give my kudos, gotta give my flowers to the greatest shooter and maybe arguably the greatest point guard to ever live. Because he came up. All right, he came up big for this Warriors team. He did everything. Again, hit the shot actually to tie the game. All right, I don't know how the Lakers let him get open on that. By the way, everybody in Oracle, I'm still calling it Oracle, knew he was going to make that as soon as he got just a little bit of space. All right, and they gave him plenty of space on that, and of course he drains it. But yeah, Chef did everything to win that game. However, Bron and the Lakers are able to get it done thanks to Austin Reeves' heroics. And the nightcap was the Suns and Joker and the Nuggets. And Bill had 27. All right, Bradley Beal looked like old school Bradley Beal, and he was able to lead the Suns to the win. KD also had 27, but he also shot 9 for 26. So not the prettiest Christmas Day game for Kevin Durant. Nikola Jokic continues his MVP push, and again push to all-time great. I mean, he's already an all-time great, but like those conversations, not GOAT conversations, but best center of all time conversations is where we're really headed at this point. 25 and 15. He's top 5 in every, and it might be top 3 actually, in every single major category. That's points, rebounds, assists. All right, he's inhuman, best player in the world. But yeah, Joker, not enough, but still a very good game, and the Suns are able to get it done. And like I said, that's 5 great games, all under 10 points. That is what we like. All right, that is what we like. So kudos to Adam Silver in the NBA for getting it right with this year's Christmas slate. Now let's talk about the NFL. Traditionally, Week 17 is the last week of the season. Of course, we have an extra game now, but, nonetheless, here we are. Okay, here we are. Christmas. Because, again, why we had to have games on Christmas, I don't know, but we did. All right? And they were horrible. All right, they were horrible. Now, this game was a little bit better than the other one. And a little bit better than the game that was on, Saturday, which we are going to get to. But, yeah, the Chiefs got it together, baby. All right, the Chiefs got it together. By the way, those Netflix jackets were sweet. All right, the Netflix, Santa jackets were tough, okay? And that scene with Andy Reid coming in as Santa with Pat and Kel, again, the Chiefs just may sleepwalk to another title. They might just sleepwalk to a three-peat. I'm convinced. I see it. I do. I really see it. I see it. The Steelers continue to be fraudulent, and the Chiefs continue to be the Chiefs. And ladies and gentlemen, they won by more than 2 scores in this game, 29-2. Pat played one of his most complete games because, of course, 320 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kelsey had 8 receptions, 84 yards and a touchdown. And the Chiefs look like they are fully in playoff mode, which is bad news for the rest of y'all. So yeah, they also clinched the #1 overall seed, so congrats to the Chiefs. But yeah, looks like they back in that mode. Russell Wilson, again, my brother in Christ. Leave the game before the game leaves you, and I feel like the game is starting to leave you rapidly. So, yeah, the Steelers are fraudulent. The record looks good, but that's Mike Tomlin for you. The Chiefs, however, looked every bit like the three-peat is almost imminent. The Ravens beat the brakes off of the Texans. It's over, okay? It is so over for Houston. C.J. Stroud went on a victory lap. Boy, did he go on a victory lap during the offseason. And boy, did he clearly not pick up or look at any type of film or throw a football or do anything football related that wasn't him talking about himself. All right? Because he has been a bum. Respectfully, he has been a bum. This is the guy I was worried and not completely sold on coming out of Ohio State. Because this is Ohio State CJ Stroud. This is him. This is him. This just might be who he is. Now, it could be a sophomore slump, but I'm akin to believing that Stroud is just not as good as a lot of people and a lot of you thought he was. On the contrary, Lamar Jackson is very much so him. Very much so. 168 and 2 touchdowns, even though King Henry honestly felt like he was going to go for 300 yards in this game. The way he was running early on and how easy it was for Baltimore in this game, I thought he was going to run for more, but he does finish with only 147 and a touchdown. Lamar has 87 and a touchdown to make that the hat trick on the day for him. And yeah, business as usual, very dominant win. 5 sacks. Kyle Hamilton picked off Stroud in this game, which is very funny considering Stroud's comments on him during the offseason on one of his mini podcast runs. So yeah, the Texans are done. All right, finished. Finito. Over with. All right. Lamar, however, needs to be in MVP conversations, even though I know we were saying Josh Allen got it. If we look at the numbers, Lamar needs to be in the conversation. That's all I'm going to say. Thursday. Yes, we had a game on Thursday, and it was ridiculous this week. Okay, but anyways. We had the worst product the NFL may have ever put out. Okay, this is unironically, and this is not me hyping this up. This isn't recency bias. This was one of the worst NFL games ever played. That is not hyperbole. This is one of the worst football games ever played. This was terrible. And it really put like the laminates on how awful this season was with, or how often, not this season, excuse me, but this Christmas slate was, and then running around the holidays, how bad it was this game. The Seahawks beat the Bears 6-3. 6-3. I mean, this was the no good, very bad game. I don't really want to talk about anybody, all right? I don't want to highlight anybody. I mean, it was great defensively, I guess. We had some awful quarterback play. We got bad Geno. Caleb, when he was on, the receivers dropped it. When he was off, he missed it by 50 yards. They were out of sync all day. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. It made me sick. Which is why it made me sick. It was just horrible football. All right? And honestly, I wish for Christmas that we all were sent one of those Men in Black like memory erasers from the NFL, because I feel like if you watch this game in full, you deserve one. You deserve to erase whatever travesty to the sport this game was. It was horrible. Don't even watch highlights. I don't know if there are highlights for this game. That's how bad it was. Anyways, Saturday, it didn't get better. It really didn't get, if you were a Chargers fan, this was a blast. But it didn't get better in terms of competition, all right? The Chargers beat the brakes off of the Patriots, who, once again, do not care. They're trying to get the #1 overall pick and draft Travis Hunter. However, they will have to settle for... actually, no. They have the #1 overall pick now, even though the Titans so fell out. Congrats, Pats. We'll see if they can hold on to it. But, yeah, Chargers handle business. All right, Jay Herbo went off. Like McConkey went off. Part of the usual. Chargers clinched the playoffs. Bengals and the Broncos was a great game, however. Finally, a good game to talk about. It went to overtime. It was back and forth. Cade York was trying to throw the game for Cincy. But Joe Burrow and T. Higgins would not be denied. All right, they would not be denied on this day. 412 yards, 3 touchdowns for Burrow. T. Higgins has 11 receptions, 131 and a hat trick, and the game winner as the Cincinnati Bengals do beat the Broncos and stay alive in the playoff race. 30-24. This was a phenomenal game. Like I said, Bo Nix even played a very solid game. 219 and 3 touchdowns. Had a nice long bomb to, I think it was Marvin Mims. Yeah, who finished with 8 receptions, 103 and a touchdown. Now, of course, half of those yards were on that 51-yard bomb, but nonetheless. Joe Burrow is the best player in the world. With all due respect to Lamar Jackson, with all due respect to Josh Allen, the best player in the world this year is Joseph Burrow. Him. Bruce Wayne. That one quarterback from him. It's Burrow. Alright, so technically, the MVP probably should be Burrow. Now, unfortunately, since he doesn't like to play defense and through the first 5 games of the year, so the record doesn't really look good. And of course, there's a big stigma around giving players who don't make the playoffs or are not winning the MVP. All right, which is somewhat fair, but also when you're doing a carry job like Burrow is on this Bengals team, now, of course, credit to Higgins, who's having a monster year and is about to get paid, and, of course, Jamar Chase, who leads the league in receiving, is in Triple Crown watch. Burrow is well-deserving, in my opinion. All right, he has been the best. I think he deserves MVP, even with the record, because he is just carried. All right, it has been damn near a Cleveland LeBron 2018 type carry job. Burrow is the best player in the world. Argue with your mother. Rams and Cardinals was once again a no good, very bad, terrible game. Kyler Murray had a horrible game. He threw 2 picks in this game. Stafford wasn't really that impressive either, but the Rams did get the win and eliminate the Cardinals from playoff contention. So, I guess that's the highlight. Again, nothing I really want to talk about there. I don't know why Eagles fans were so excited. You're playing the Cowboys in 2024 with Cooper Rush. Like, relax. Calm down. Y'all are acting like you won the Super Bowl. All right? Y'all won as expected 41-7. Again, don't know why I was so surprised. However, Saquon did go over 2K, which I do think is very impressive based off the fact that he did it in the North without the extra game. He didn't need the extra game to hit 2K. All right? So, credit where credit's due. Of course, he should still be in MVP conversations, even though we talk about all the QBs. But, yeah, he'll have a chance to break the record next week, even though the Eagles don't really have anything to play for. So, we'll see. All right, I very much so think Sirianni and the Eagles are petty enough to run it just to get him the record. But, yeah, at the same time, I could also see him not playing. But, yeah, Eagles do what they were supposed to do against the Cowboys. The Bills beat the brakes off of the Jets, who have quit. All right, there's no other way to say it. The Bills did what they were supposed to do, and the Jets have quit. This team has quit. Simply put, their heart is not in it. A-Rod played a horrible game. Like, they don't want to be here. The Jets don't want to be here anymore. If they could hit fast forward on this season, they would have been hit it. All right? They don't want to be playing football anymore. They might as well not even suit up next week because if this is the effort they're getting or they're going to give, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. All right? The Jets are in no man's land and the Bills destroy them. Next, we had a game with plenty of, number 1 overall pick ramifications depending on the result of this game. We had the Tank Bowl, which it's very crazy to me how the Tank Bowl was more interesting than some of the supposedly supposed to be better games, more competitive games. This was one of the more competitive games. Even though these two teams were probably and should have been actively trying to lose this game, even though one clearly was truly not trying to actively lose this game, which respect, really. But, yeah, this game had no business being competitive, but it was. All right, the Jaguars get the win 20-13. Mac Jones, very efficient day, 174 and 2 touchdowns. We had good Mac this week. All right, good Mac. And he helps lead the Jaguars, whose defense shows up big time, shutting down Mason Rudolph, which, again, not that hard of a task. All right, he's simply a tank commander, after all. But the Jags do get the win, which was good for the culture, good for the fans at home who cheered very loudly. However, they did kind of fall out of that number 1 overall pick race, and the Titans did take command for a moment in time. Had the number 1 overall pick, even though I think they've now conceded it back to the Patriots, who, like I said, are picking Travis Hunter. So those of you that need a quarterback, Giants, Raiders, you're just fine. All right, and the Titans may stick with Levis anyway, so yeah, we'll see. But the Jaguars do get the win. Brian Thomas Jr. continues to have a phenomenal rookie season. The Buccaneers took care of the Panthers 48-14. This was a massacre. All right, this was an absolute massacre. Belt to, simply put, Bryce didn't play a bad game, so that is the only positive I can say. Otherwise, it was a shellacking. Okay, Baker had 359 and tied a career high 5 touchdowns through the air. We need to give Baker Mayfield his flowers. It's really crazy how they had him and Sam Darnold. The Panthers had him and Sam Darnold, and neither one of them were the guy. But in Tampa Bay, and as we're going to talk about in Minnesota, they have absolutely, undisputably been the guys and maybe the franchise guys going forward. So yeah, just a funny thing to look back at. Mike Evans, by the way, 8 receptions, 97 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The 1,000-yard season is in reach. All right, do not worry, ladies and gentlemen. The 1,000-yard season is in reach. He does need, what is this? 85 yards, I believe that is. Yeah, 85 yards next week to get it done. But the 1,000-yard season is still within reach. One of the most sacred streaks in all of football. Can still be acquired. It can still happen. We'll see if it does. But yeah, Jalen McMillan, also the rookie, finally had a little bit of a breakout game. But again, everybody broke out this week for the Bucs. Dominant performance. The New Orleans Saints just suck, bro. I mean, they suck. They suck. Y'all suck. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Y'all suck. It is crazy. The flip from the first, like y'all peaked in week 1 and just fell from the heavens every single week after. I mean, peaked so early. They may have peaked in the preseason. I don't know how you lose to the Raiders at home, but they did it. I mean, they did it. Spencer Rattler, by the way, not the guy. Saints will be picking a quarterback. Yeah, just terrible. Nothing good to say. Nothing good to say. On the other hand, for the Raiders, Brock Bowers did break Mike Ditka's record for most receiving yards by a rookie tight end. I know Jaden Daniels is pretty much all but won the Rookie of the Year, especially after what happened this week, but Brock Bowers needs to be in the conversation. I think he can win it for the AFC. I think they do still split it up, right? NFC, AFC. So Brock probably likely wins for the AFC. I know Bo Nix is there, Ladd is there, but what Bowers has done, Bowers has looked generational. I'm going to be honest. I think pound for pound, like no bias, rookie-wise, Bowers has been the best rookie, in my opinion, even better than Daniels. But, we'll see. I do expect JD to win it, and he's worthy. But, I mean, what Brock Bowers is doing, he's been every bit the generational tight end we were told he was going to be coming out of Georgia. So, yeah, credit where credit's due. However, that does, again, ruin the Raiders', chances of that number 1 overall pick. But, both of the quarterbacks basically through this week, so I don't think they're going to be too worried about it. Giants take care of the Colts. An emphatic win. It was like Drew Lock said, you know what? I got to lock in. And he did. 309 yards and 4 touchdowns and what was probably the best performance of his young career. Malik Neighbors. I know we said Marv was supposed to be the one, but Malik Neighbors has actually been the one. Okay? He has actually been the one this year. He hits 1,000 yards on the season and has a monster game. 7 receptions, 171, and 2 touchdowns. He helped put this game away. Drew Lock, like I said, was phenomenal. And yeah, the Giants played their best game of the season, undisputably. Flacco still got it a little bit. A lot more than Aaron Rodgers at the very least. 330 in this game. 2 touchdowns, but he also had 2 picks. Very, very costly picks as well. JT had 125 and 2 touchdowns, but I think he got banged up a little bit at one point in this game. Team was slowed down after a really efficient first half. Alec Pierce is a guy. Okay, Alec Pierce, I want to say this. Alec Pierce is he's one of them ones. I don't know if he's like a superstar, but he might be a star. Okay, because he looks like he can be a staple of that receiving corps and whoever ends up at quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Because, yeah, 6 receptions, 122 and a touchdown. And all 6 of those catches felt like they were big ones. All of them. All right, he has been a great premier deep threat coming from Cincinnati. So, yeah, shout out to Pierce. He has been that guy. 2 really good young receivers in this, with Pierce and Neighbors showing off. It was a really, really good game. I watched a lot of this one. 45-33, however, the Giants win and hurt their own chances of that number 1 overall pick. However, the Browns did everything they needed to do to make sure that they tried to stay in that contention. Of course, they will likely be drafting a quarterback as well. The Dolphins, with Tyler Huntley at quarterback, handle business. Again, the Browns were not trying to win this game. Okay, they had no intention of winning this game. Cheetah stays hot, though. All right, Cheetah stays hot. Dolphins get it 20-3. Vikings and the Packers was a banger. All right, as expected. This was a very big game in terms of playoff, who's falling where. NFC North, even though the Packers are already out of contention. This was a big game. Do not make that mistake of thinking it was. It was a huge game. And the Vikings made a statement, all right? They made a statement. The Packers tried to come back in that fourth quarter, but just ran out of time and could not get enough. As the Vikings do hold on, Sam Darnold is the guy, okay? Sam. 35 touchdowns, 4,153 yards. He had his breakout year. He looks like USC Sam Darnold. All right. I don't know what flipped. Again, J.J. McCarthy, he was just supposed to be the stopgap for J.J. while J.J. sat out the season with injury. It was supposed to be McCarthy's team. But right now, I don't know how you take it away from Sam. I don't know how you would possibly take this team and take that position away from Sam Darnold with the way that he's performed this year. He has looked like a franchise quarterback. He has looked like the answer in Minnesota. He has given that team hope again. In a season which a lot of us were like, you know what, this might be a little bit, still kind of sitting in that mid to maybe even fall off cellar territory. They have been a contender in the NFC. So again, and a big reason why is Sam Darnold. So yeah, shout out to him. Fight F on FTFO, baby. It makes me happy to see. All right, it makes me happy to see as a Sam Darnold truther. Speaking of fight on, Addison had a touchdown yet again in this game, quickly emerging as one of the best number twos in the game alongside Jettis, who did what he was supposed to do in this game. Didn't score, but still had a very good game for Jordan Jefferson. And yeah, the Vikings get it done. Defense came up with some good stops, even though it was kind of, bend, don't break at the end there. But Vikings do hold on to get the win. And to end off Sunday Night Football, the Commanders do beat the Falcons in OT. Jaden Daniels finds Zach Ertz. Yes, Zach Ertz in 2024 for the game winner. And Washington goes crazy. They clinch the playoffs. Jaden Daniels is the king of DC. I think that pretty much encapsulates it. But yeah, Daniels, another really good game. 227, 3 touchdowns. He also had 127 yards on the ground. Again, great game. Great game for the Rookie of the Year. He has looked like, again, as much as I hate to say it, he's looked like the better pick so far compared to what we saw from Caleb this week especially. So yeah, looks like the Commanders cashed out, which is just great. Malik Neighbors and Jaden Daniels looking like the future of the league while the Eagles dominate. Just great for me as a Cowboys fan. Absolutely scintillating, terrific stuff as a Cowboys fan. Why was I born into this fandom, man? Why? Falcons put up a good fight, by the way. Penix threw for his first touchdown. However, he was okay. Nothing like crazy. Nothing like, oh, Penix, He was okay. Looked like a rookie. Bajan had 90 yards and 2 touchdowns, though, so he continues to have a very good season. I think he's over 1,000. Yeah. 1,200, fourth in the league. That's what I was checking. 12 touchdowns. So, yeah, Pro Bowl type season for Bajan. Going to be a lot of those in his career if he stays healthy. So, yeah, Falcons still heading in the right direction. But it's the Commanders' time right now. All right, for whatever reason, Jaden Daniels has saved them, and he, like I said, is the new king in DC. Now, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the Roundup, which is just me talking about the Prem this week. All right, honestly, it is just going to be me talking about the Premier League. Man City, remember to play how to play football. They got their second win in 2 months. Their second win in 14 games. Holland scored, so maybe back on track there. However, the other team in Manchester sucks still. All right, I don't know what's going on. I really, at this point, I don't know. It feels a little bit like y'all are cursed. I'm not going to lie, Manchester United fans. It feels a little bit like y'all are cursed. I don't know who cursed you exactly, but it just hasn't been y'all. I don't know if y'all ever get the magic back right now at this point. Because it feels like y'all have been due and it just never works. No matter how good the coach is, no matter what they've done before, no matter the players, something always falls apart. And it is all falling apart in Manchester right now for United. We will see what happens there. Saka unfortunately tore his hamstring, so he's going to be gone for a very long time. Which is horrible news for Arsenal because, of course, Saka is their best player. And Arsenal is playing for not just the Premier League, but Champions League stuff. So, yeah, a move that could have some very big ramifications. But Arsenal does have that great youth academy, so this could be an opportunity for somebody to step up. But, yeah, we'll see. But, unfortunately, no Saka for a long time for you Gunners. And, yeah, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been an interesting year. I was going to say it's been a great year, but it has been a great year for me. It has been a great year. But it was a very challenging year, but it's a year I've been very grateful to go through. All right, because this time last year I was feeling a little lost, and I was very unhappy, and I was going through a lot, and now it's just been a complete 180 um, in my life, and I feel a lot of hope for 2025 and this channel and just life in general. So yeah, I'm grateful. Thank you to all of you that tune in every week to make my week. So yeah, without further ado, happy holidays, happy new year. Let's have a great 2025, and I hope you enjoyed your 2024. And if you didn't, get your revenge next year. All right, without further ado, Ocho signing off.